30 years ago, Esperance was put on the map by an out-of-control spaceship that was flying through the air like a meteor shower. It crossed Esperance and landed into the deserts just between here and Belladonna. And it caused quite a ruckus, I suppose, because that very near catastrophe that hit us reverberated right around the world. But of course, typical of the Esperance community, they thought, oh, we can make some mileage out of this. And so, in typical Aussie humour, the good old Shire issued an infringement to NASA, fined them $400 for littering. And so the story was born of the littering fine that floated around in the cyberspace for about 30 years, certainly far longer than Skylab stayed up there. But anyway, from time to time over the last 10 years that I've been here, and probably before that anyway, we've had a number of US citizens have contacted the Shire, and they've said to us, well, we feel a little bit upset that the US government and NASA haven't paid this fine. We think we would like to make a donation to the Shire or to the museum, and we've just laughed it off as a bit of a joke and said, well, look, it was written off ages ago. But, just recently, someone with a little bit more persistence has come forward. And Scott Barley, who is with us here today, and his wife Marta, who's sitting there next to Wendy Duncan, took up the cudgel and decided, well, we're going to follow this through and persist with this and put it to their listeners in Bairstow on Highway Radio. Who would like to donate towards paying off this fine for the Shire? And so Scott was able to raise $400, and he's here today to make that presentation to the Shire. And in that regard, could I invite Shire President, Councillor Ian Mickle, and the Shire President in 1979, Mr. Merv Andre, to come forward, and Scott will make the presentation to them. Thank you.
Well, this is quite an unusual event. Little did I know, let's see, I think I was 11 or 12 years old in 1979, or I'd like to claim I was even younger than that, but I vaguely remember the incident back in 1979, and it only came to be for me back in November of this past year when I happened to be reading an article in one of our American astronauts had lost hold of a toolbox in outer space. They were on the space shuttle, and I had remarked on the air, I said that would really leave a lump on your head if it ever fell back to Earth, and it reminded me of Skylab. So I during the break, I went on the internet and I looked up Skylab, and I just started reading it, and I think I was on Wikipedia, and I was just reading, and there was all this information. I got to one area where it said that the city of Esperance in Australia, and I'd never heard of, I'd heard of Australia, okay. But I hadn't heard of Esperance, and it said that the city had fined NASA $400, and I thought that was so funny. And I came back on the air, and I had mentioned something about it, and I said, we should really raise money to, put this debt to rest. We shouldn't leave these debts outstanding. And so what I did is I then emailed, I went on the web and I found the Shire, and I emailed someone, I don't know who it was, but I did find Ian Mickle's name, and I put his name in the subject heading. And I got a reply back, and apparently it was a standard reply saying, well, we wrote it off a few months later. Well, I kind of fibbed to the listeners, and I ignored that. I decided I still would like to pay this debt off. So Christmas rolled around, and we had other promotions and things going on, so I pretty much didn't say anything until about January of this year. And then so we had some sound effects, and we had, actually I think what we had was a Star Trek theme followed by a splash in the water. And so it kind of had this grandiose, and then all of a sudden, kind of splashed, and that was our little intro into getting people to call up and to donate. And so we had different levels. We had the I guess it was the bronze level at $1, the silver level at $5, the gold at $10, and platinum would be $20. So change in dollars started rolling in, and then we had a we had a gym that offered to match $50 for anybody who also offered $50, and they'd get a 3-month free gym membership. So they got into it, and we had some drivers. We had a couple people with big rigs that pulled in, and somebody even donated $100. And finally, we reached the goal of $401 and I think 85 cents, something like that. So I at some point had also then emailed back saying that the listeners just didn't say no, although it was more kind of me just hyping the whole thing up. And we raised the money, got the check, and then I sent it off in February, and then I didn't hear anything for a while. I thought, well, mail takes time, right, to get from California to Australia. So then I think it was April that I got a reply from my program manager saying, hey, you were basically in charge of this. There was an email from a reporter from the Esperance Express. Would you like to answer some of these questions? So sure enough, there was a set of questions, and I emailed her back the answer. It was Hannah. And then by Friday, it was on the local paper on the front page. And then a couple days later, I think it was on the radio. And then I think Ian, right? I think you sent me somebody sent me some other articles that had come in, and I thought, this is just so funny. And at the same time, it is what it is. It's what got us together to where we are at this particular moment. So here we are, and it's now the 30th anniversary of when Skylab fell, and I'm sure there's a lot of good stories here. People remember probably couldn't get on the phone, couldn't call for help because all the lines were all blocked and different things like that. But so what I have is a couple things here. I have a giant check that I can't believe this has actually come to fruition, but a check in the amount of $400 from the listeners of Highway Radio in Barstow, California, and I guess I'll give it to. Yeah, exactly. So it may be a little difficult to cash that at the bank. I don't know if you'll be able to fit it through the window there. And also, tomorrow in Barstow, California, which is about 60 miles north of Los Angeles, is proclaimed Shire of Esperance Skylab Day. So, and this has been signed by the mayor and the city council. So tomorrow is your day. So you hop on the next plane, and I guess the city's all yours. Plus also, and I've already been told that some people need to keep this away from Merv because he may get carried away, but also a key to the city, which I think gives you access to anything and everything while you're there. So. There you go, sir.
Thank you. We're finished. Oh, we got some.
Can we give the key again? Sorry.
Okay. We'll do it so you can see it.
Yes, I can see it.
All right? Okay.
Wait. Hold it there so you're...
Go. The handshake.
This is how it's like when you're... I did a little checking, and obviously there's the Hubble telescope that's still flying around up there, and there's apparently 10 to 12,000 other items that are in orbit around the Earth. Some of them satellites, some of them space junk. And I just want to let you know that I'm not going to be responsible for paying for everything that falls back to Earth around here. I'm only going as far as this $400 for the time being. We'll have to work out details and everything else. So, thank you very much. Thank you.
We delight in giving you this. It's got a little bit of Skylab on it. I'm assured it's some insulation, and that's for you for organising it. Thank you very much. And that's just a little dilly bag of bits and pieces of memorabilia of Skylab and some tourist things to show off. And thank you again. Thank you all for coming. Please enjoy the museum after you've had your morning tea. So thank you very much.